This podcast is sponsored by nobody.
Hey everyone, this is Linda Jo Miller, better known as Lieutenant Susan Watson in King Kong Escapes, and you are listening to Tommy Throwback Kovac on Splat from the Past. He will gorilla your dreams.
Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today I will be welcoming back the gorgeous, the talented, the lovely, and legendary Judy Matheson. You all remember her from so many classic Hammer horror films, but particularly we are going to focus on Lust for a Vampire today, celebrating its 55th anniversary. And last time I talked to her, it was on this exact same day in 2020. Isn't that wild? A lot's happened since then, but who wants to be negative? But it's going to be great to have Judy back on. She is just a sweet lady, very, very British, and such a sweet lady. And it's going to be great to talk with her again. And I am so looking forward to it. It's going to be great to catch up with her for a little bit. Also, happy birthday, Peter Gabriel, the master of dark, one of the great singer-songwriters ever. I can't believe he's 76. I remember when he was 36 doing Sledgehammer. God, that video ran so much on MTV back in the day. It's insane. Also, shameless plug here. Dr. Kristen Hilaire mentioned to me this week that she and Patty Quattro give me a shout out on tonight's season 3 finale of the Rock and Roll Survivors podcast on Spotify and their website, rockandrollsurvivors.com. And I am so blushing over it. I mean, I have to mention this. Please tune in. I haven't heard it yet, but I'm going to tonight. I love Kristen and Patty, and don't forget to listen to our episode back in December when the three of us were having so much fun. It was such a great, great chat. And finally, tomorrow's Valentine's Day. Don't forget to tell the one you love that you love them. Give chocolates, make love, give cards, anything. Just tell them that you love them. All we need is love in this day and age of chaos and insanity. So yeah, here is my new interview with Judy Matheson. Hey Judy, welcome back. How are you today?
I'm really well. How are you?
I am fantastic. I am so blessed I cannot complain.
Oh, that's good. Did you sleep well last night?
Somewhat, but then that's every night.
9 o'clock, getting up to do a talk to London. So it's something to think about.
Yeah. You know what I realized? The last time you and I talked was on this exact same day 6 years ago. Isn't that wild?
That is amazing. That is amazing. I'm so glad it's working, because last time I had one of these, which was I don't know, about 3 or 4 months ago, and nothing seemed to be working, but it's all working now. I blame the other guy, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't do Zoom that often. I still do over the phone, but I thought it would be nice for us to do Zoom today,
Definitely. Zoom was wonderful for me during lockdown. I mean, it really worked well. I had it under control, and my daughter gave me a Zoom Lite for Christmas, and everything was terrific. But people don't seem to use it so much. Well, for me, they don't seem to use it so much now.
Right. So, can you believe it's been 55 years since Lust for a Vampire?
Oh, do you know what's surprising to me, Tommy? I have to be surprising. I have my lovely friend, cleaning lady here today.
Yeah.
And I was going home, and I was setting up my iPad and stuff, and I was telling her about it. And I said, but I can't quite understand why you're celebrating 55. And maybe it's because you think I'm not going to last till 60. Because 55 is an odd number, is it not?
It's not that. It's just it's a milestone year, and I just love this movie.
I love you love the movie. You know what's happening to this movie more than there are a load of sort of guys who think they know a lot about. Oh, I'm always going on about this, banging on about these sort of guys who think they know everything about everything, and
Yeah,
particularly Hammer, and they don't like it. But now, recently, very recently, it's become really popular, and people say they love it, and I think they should love it. I think they should take it in the how it was supposed to be,
exactly,
slightly different.
exactly,
All right,
exactly.
yeah.
So, like, when you got this script, like, what did you think of the script?
Very weirdly, now there's lots of things I can remember, a lot of things, and particularly talking to you guys, I remember more and more stuff about everything, and it all comes back to me. But I can't remember even seeing the script before my agent said to me, Judy, do you want to do 6 weeks wherever it was in that wonderful place that we filmed in? And you'll get this much money, and they'll pick you up from your house. And do you want to do it? And I didn't see the script, actually. I didn't see the script. And my agent, I wasn't, I'm much older now, and I probably would be a lot more assertive. But but now looking back, I wasn't. I was a very young actress. I had the most wonderful agent, and she said, "I think you should take the 6 weeks of, loveliness, getting paid, getting picked up, wearing nice clothes, and having a nice time."
Right.
So I said yes without ever seeing a script. Had I seen a script, and I saw a script for the first time, a proper script,
Yeah.
for the first time comparatively recently, doing an event actually, and somebody had bought the script for me to sign, and I don't say anything in it. I don't say anything. So maybe I wouldn't have done it, Tommy. I've never said this to anybody else. But I don't say very much. I say Mikala. I think that's what I say. And I think had I sort of gone through the script and looked at it, then I may have said no. But when you're very young and you're very sort of looking for stuff, you don't say no very often. And I didn't say no, and I'm so glad I did, because who knew that you'd be talking to me 55 years later, Tommy?
I know, right? Yeah. I mean, I read some old review blurbs on the movie on Wikipedia, and so many people at the time thought the movie was exploitive. I mean, did you think that it was exploitive?
Not at all. Not at all. I can't see how it was exploitive. I mean, I'm trying to think now. I had that one scene with the leading lady on the bed, but it wasn't really because it was the 70s, and you have to think back to people like Vanessa Redgrave and Judy Dench and Helen Mirren, all bared their breasts. It
Right.
wasn't. It was tricky for me, but also it was beautiful, because the whole thing, you were wearing beautiful clothes, people treated you beautifully on the set, and it was yeah, the whole. I've said this. I don't know how original I can be about it, but it was a complete joy from beginning to end. To be on it
Yeah.
as a young woman, to go in, to get your hair done in that wonderful way, wonderful makeup, beautiful hair, a lot of lovely, lovely young ladies to have fun with, and really, it was. When I look back on it, it was a wonderful, wonderful shoot.
Yeah, I didn't think it was, exploitive at all. I thought it was a very progressive movie. You didn't see a whole lot of girl on girl, intimate scenes on film back then like you do nowadays and stuff. It was just very progressive. I mean, were you comfortable at all doing an intimate scene like that with another girl?
Oh, I wasn't in the least bit bothered. She was so wonderful. She was actually so relaxed. Jutta was new to the film industry, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And she was terribly polite. She was very Scandinavian. And it wasn't in the least bit uncomfortable for me. Not at all. There have been a few, over the years, there have been one or two things that have been stuck out, but certainly not that. Tommy, the other thing, the most uncomfortable thing when I think about it, is getting ready for that scene, to get into the bed.
Right.
And, it wasn't what it, what it was. They did do a few sort of different shoots for Japan and for Scandinavia or whatever else they did in those days. But what was slightly difficult for me then and now, when in retrospect, was I had to have body makeup on. And the head of makeup then was a gentleman called, I can't remember his name actually now, who did the body makeup. So I sort of stood, I think we were curtained. They would, in those days also, they were terribly good about protecting you. If you had no clothes on, if you have a few clothes on, as soon as the director said cut, you had a wardrobe mistress coming with a dressing gown. So it was all very comfortable. You weren't sort of wandering around with in the nude. But it was slightly uncomfortable having this makeup man doing my body makeup all over. And when you look back on the scene, I mean, you didn't see it. You only saw me from the waist up. So
right.
That wasn't necessary. But that's the only slight thing. It's nothing much.
Yeah. And, I always noticed that, like, early in the movie, when Amanda and all the other girls are in the courtyard, she looks like she kind of has a crush on her. She's just very, very shy, but she just, like, notices just how beautiful she is.
Who? Jutta?
Yeah, Yuta.
Yeah, she did. She was beautiful, and she was lovely. She wasn't a great, she wasn't collegiate, really. She wasn't collegiate, but why would she be? She was shy. It was new for her. She was in a new position, leading lady, and so she wasn't really collegiate with the rest of the girls. With the rest of the girls had come up various ways. A lot of them were models and a lot of them were whatever. But everybody was having a sense of fun. That was the thing that was the most amazing the thing that stands out most about the shoot was the fun going every day to have, to just have a good time and laugh and giggle and make each other laugh. I particularly liked, I'm not sure if you're interested in this, but presumably you can cut it. I particularly got on well with the late Pippa Steele, who was very, very intelligent, a very good actress, and we had such lovely long conversations between takes and things, talking about the books we were reading, what we were doing. I think I would say, though she's long gone now, but I would say we were very similar in our taste, Pippa and I, in our lives probably, and she's the one I got on. I spent a lot of time with, but all the other girls were just absolutely wonderful. I mean, the whole thing, and as I always say, and you've heard me and you've seen it, was huge fun. Apparently, and you all know about this, there was some difficulty with the script or with the director, being brought in and things, all the stuff, all the business stuff, which didn't really involve any of us rather gorgeous ladies having fun. So I didn't know about that until later. At the time, Jimmy Sansa was fantastic fun. So were the other guys. They were just terrific. Everything was terrific. It's a bit of a sort of difficult interview here about this film, because all I can say is that it was never uncomfortable. It was actually once, but It was never uncomfortable at all.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you want me to go on, but anyway, the thing that I was, and I have said it because there was a comparatively recent reissue of the film, and I was really cross with the first AD when he put somebody else in to do the scream along the log, which was mine in the script.
Yeah.
And I wasn't the person I am today. I was just a child. She was a child too. And I was, today I would just say, "Excuse me, that's my part. Don't give it to her. It's mine. It's pretty little." She was walking along a log and screamed. But screaming was was going to become my thing. It was my thing, because I started theatre in the Bristol Old Vic, and my very, very first thing that I had to do in Romeo and Juliet in Shakespeare was to run across the top of the stage. They had a sort of platform, and look at the scene that was going on, which was fights and things, and scream at the top of my voice. So that was weirdly coincidental that I had to scream for my very, very first job. And then suddenly this first AD took my scream along the log away and gave it to Carol, not quite got her name, but her second name, but she was lovely, and I'm sure she felt the same. She thought, "Oh, this is Judy," she must have thought, but she couldn't say it either. Neither of us could speak up.
Mm-hmm. David Healy was a good actor. Any memories of him?
He was terrific. He was absolutely terrific. Yeah. I didn't work with him at all there.
Yeah.
But I've seen him in several things. I've seen him in, he's been at the National Theatre. I think it was in the National Theatre, an early production, as it seems to be everything now. He was. I'm pretty certain he was in Guy's Dolls at the National Theatre. He was a known, very fine actor, and also, it's a sort of niche, isn't it? It's a niche. He had a niche thing as an American actor in Britain, but he was terrific. He was terrific. Well, didn't he play, you tell me, Pippa's dad?
Yes, actually. And I remember seeing him play the headmaster of the all-girls school in Supergirl when I was a kid.
Oh, amazing. No, he had a sort of name as a sort of, like, if you like, a number two actor in theatre, which theatre is the UK's biggest thing, or was then, and probably still is. And he was a big thing. He was, his good catch. Whoever cast, I don't know who cast this whole film, but it was a good cast. But he was American, and he had to be American, apparently. Pippa's father, they came from America. They had a bit of a backstory.
Right.
And
Another.
But I didn't work with him.
Another great actor that's in the movie is Christopher Neame. He's always good at playing bad guys in movies.
He is. And I didn't come across him again because that was another scene that I wasn't in but it was with my am I right? Was he in a scene in a pub? Was he? I can't quite remember what
I think so.
Neame did in Lost Forever.
I think so.
And was Luann Pieces waiting on him and things? I'm not sure.
Yes.
I'm not sure because I'm confused. I think that's right. But interestingly enough, I met him for the first time since then, last year, when there was this wonderful, which we have been doing every year, but now I think it's stopped, for Caroline Munro's cancer charity, because Caroline had cancer and she was treated really well in a hospital very near here where I live called the Royal Free, but also they have a sort of comfort, consoling area and place a charity really, that you can go and get comfort from and talk to other people, and that's called Maggie's. And
Mm-hmm.
for the last 3 years, I think 3 years, maybe two, we have done a huge thing for maggots. We've all signed photographs, we've all met people for free. It's been a charity thing
Yeah.
because we love maggots and we love Caroline Munro. Who doesn't love
I love
Caroline Munro?
Caroline.
But
Yeah.
this year, last last June, Christopher Neame came over especially for it. I think he's in America now. I think he's in America.
Probably.
And he came over especially. So I met him for the first time in 50 years. Well, I hadn't met him. I actually hadn't met him on Lust for a Vampire because he was in a different scene. But he couldn't have been more charming. And he's just a lovely, lovely guy. 50 years later, not that I met him. He was surprised. I mean, when I went up to him, because I was there, I was very comfortable because I knew everybody there and I knew all the charity people and I knew Caroline and everybody. And I went up to him and said, well, we were in the same film 50 years ago. And he couldn't have been more delightful.
That's so awesome. Did you get to keep that dress that you wore? It looked so good on you.
Which dress? What, in
Lust for a Vampire?
No, in Lust for a Vampire?
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't that have been nice? When would I ever have worn it? No, not at all. And what's quite interesting, and it's just a sort of blank, I think, after all these years, I can't even remember being fitted for it. I can't remember, usually, you get a film and then you have to you go with the wardrobe mistress to the, in this case, it would have been the theatrical, costumiers. And, but I don't remember anything of that. I don't remember that at all. All I remember is that I wore that lovely dress and you had beautiful hair.
Yep.
And I can't remember where they got it from. I mean, there could be blanks in 55 years of. I'm surprised I remember so much. But one of the reasons is by talking to people like you.
Yeah. It's fresh in your mind. Is it true that you were considered for a role in A Clockwork Orange?
No, yeah, that's, I don't know if I was considered for it. There was a very, if I could remember his name, but it was one of the top casting directors was casting for Kubrick.
Right.
And I actually hadn't realized Kubrick was sort of vaguely, he just didn't like to meet people.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize, I think he was living in London, in London or just outside, but I thought he was in America. And I wish I could remember, I should look it up really, but he's very well known in our world, the casting director. And he asked for me, he asked for several people, but I was sort of there, one of the people going in, and I was asked to wear a dressing gown and keep my underclothes on and then go on. This has now become much more usual for young women, not what I've just said, but just to be filmed or film themselves on their films, on their phones. But this is very unusual in those days. I was asked to walk into a room and talk about who I was and say a couple of things, and then take my dressing gown off. Well, I wasn't sure. I'm not entirely sure what I had on underneath, but I thought, no, you don't do this. You don't do this for somebody. I didn't know anything about Kubrick. I'm so embarrassed about it. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not taking my dressing gown off, for you to have a look at, send a film wherever you want to. So I walked out of the audition. Not only did I walk out of the audition, Tommy, I rang up my union and complained about Stanley Kubrick. And I cannot believe now, all these years later, that I did that. I said, there is this director in America, I'm not sure he was in America now, knowing a bit more about Kubrick, adoring his films, of course. I said, it's an American who's asking all these young women come in and take their clothes off, and he's going to get, films. So I said, Equity, I don't know what Equity did, my union, but I walked out. I wasn't considered. I was one of the ones that went to audition. Since then, I have met, and I'm not sure, I don't know, honestly, I don't know which one of the young women that I was being auditioned for. If I was told, I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But I've met several times the absolutely beautiful and stunning Virginia Wetherall, who was in that, and I think it might have been her part, the part that she got, that I walked out on. I refused to audition for. And since then, I've met her several times, and of course, she has a connection, because she was married to the absolutely fabulous actor Ralph Bates, who died so early.
Oh, really?
Who was in our film, of course. No, my next film, in The Twins of Evil. But, so Ralph Bates was a wonderful actor, died far too early. But I think the young woman in the Kubrick film, the part, I can only think of it. Must be Virginians.
Yeah.
Wetheralls.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, I talked to Carol Drinkwater, who's Linda Regan's sister. She played the nurse that gets naked in the Clockwork Orange, and she told me her story with that. It's a scary movie still. I mean, 55 years later, Clockwork Orange holds up as one of the scariest sci-fi movies ever made. It's not really horror, but it is horrific, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And definitely a film to be reckoned with. Interesting, though, because Linda Regan is a friend of mine, because she's married to my friend of at least 50 years, Brian Murphy. And I'm in touch with Carol Drinkwater on Twitter, because there's, we have a lot, we have a lot to say to each other, I suppose. Yes, so that's interesting. I didn't know she'd been in it. Of course, the part I was up for could have been hers if she had to take her clothes off.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know which part it was. If I knew, I didn't remember.
Yeah. I recently saw The Haunting of Margam Castle. You did that movie right before the pandemic, right?
Yes, I did. And I didn't have very much to do in it. I was delighted to do it. He was the most delighting. He was the most delighting director. He was just a wonderful, and his wife too. And he sent me a script because I think he wanted Hammer names. He had Caroline in it, and he had Jane Merrow playing a lead.
Yeah.
And I think he just wanted to have a couple of names, and he sent me a script. And I asked him, he's the most lovely man, I said, I don't know if I can remember all this. I was some sort of, if you remember, I don't know if you've seen it. Well, you did see it.
I did see it, yeah.
I was some sort of scary person who just sort of gives them, things that they shouldn't be doing.
Right.
And I said, I can't remember all this, which is true, of course. I can't, I'm out of practice. And so he cut my life. He said, you can just say what you do, and wear what you like. But, which I did, and it was fun. It was huge fun. It was only a day, going down with Caroline, coming back with Caroline, and it's huge fun. The tragedy being, of course, that he died 2 years later of immunosuppressive disease.
It's awful.
He had a lot to offer.
Yeah, that's awful. Oh my God, that's horrific. But I did see the movie. I thought it was pretty good. It was great seeing you in there. It was great seeing Caroline. She plays a bartender, and she's very unglamorous, which is not the case with her usually. She's always glamorous, but it was pretty funny to see her, cast against type for just a short scene that was very effective. And another guest of mine, Simon Bamford, he played the Witchfinder General. He's a great guy.
Oh yes, absolutely, yeah, yeah, and yeah, no, it was fun. It was fun for Tara. It's fun for me, and it was a good movie to do. What I was pleased about, because I'd been a bit fussy about, being a bit older, I was a bit fussy. I said, I can't say all this, so I couldn't say it all, whatever they gave me to do. But I'm very, very happy to do 2 or 3 lines here and there, which I have just done recently with something. But, I just don't have the memory. I have actor friends who've been doing it for a long time, and they still got their muscle memory for memory, but I don't have the memory for memory for memory. That's what I'm trying to say. I can't really remember the lines. So, but he used it for the voiceover for the trailer, my voice, which I thought, well, I obviously did something, because he used my ominous warning voice for the trailer, which was
Nice. So what do you got going on these days? Upcoming movies or anything going on?
I actually do, as long as it's not cut out. So a lovely guy called Tony Marden. There's so much. I don't know if it happened in America or in Los Angeles, but so many sort of independent films being made,
Right.
And a guy I sort of vaguely knew. Yeah, he's a very sort of clever, intelligent guy who's involved and loved horror movies, and he asked me if I just look at a script, look at a couple of pages, and would I choose a part? This is quite recently, and so I looked down these 2 pages or 3 pages that he'd sent me, and I chose. I said, I'll be the mother of the hero, which is 3 lines, mainly because I thought it's the smallest part, and that's what I wanted to do.
Right.
So I did do that. I did that. That was huge fun. That was great fun. I mean, this is sort of like a hobby now. I went down to his wonderful. He made his wonderful house in Chelsea into a studio, and I went down and did, I think, 3, 4 lines, which is going to be the mother of the hero,
right?
Which I think is played by him, and it's called The Witches of the Sand.
Oh yeah.
So if anybody gets a chance,
I saw that on your.
It's taking a long time to make.
Yeah, I saw that on your IMDb. Deborah Lamb is in it, right?
So he's got so many people in it, amazing people in it.
Yeah.
And the longest cast list I have ever seen. Certainly the longest cast list I have ever been in.
Yeah.
And it's coming, But so he's a very, very clever guy, and there's so much enthusiasm in this sort of quite small world of independent, always horror films that vaguely I'm involved with, but I'm not really, because I'm not. I don't really do that anymore. But I've played the hero's mother, even if it's got 3 lines, which I'm pleased about. So we'll see what happens there. Otherwise, generally not. I'm sort of backing down now. I've got a couple of events. I've got an event coming up, which is to do with a thing you don't know nothing about, but it's a very popular series called The Sweeney, and I'm going to be talking about that with other people who are in The Sweeney, for the Misty Moon Film Society, which I've been involved with for many years. I'm a patron. And then I have been asked, I'm sorry to laugh, but I've been asked to go to Cardiff, a con,
convention.
A convention, to sign. but I'm getting very, if I'm really frank with you, and I know this is just between you and me, Tom. I know it's not going anywhere. I'm getting very sort of tired of doing it already. Not doing that. I love meeting. That's the problem with me. I sort of love meeting the guys, the fans, all the people that know so much about my work, much more than I do.
Yeah.
And I love people like you ringing me up and saying, "Will you talk to me?" And I find it astonishing and amazing that this happens. But I don't really want to do actually any work anymore. No, not that if anybody wants to offer me one line in a film, I'll do one line in a film. But otherwise, not.
Yeah. What's the craziest thing anyone has ever asked you to sign?
And that's interesting because actually I don't know. I can't think. My memory, I don't know. I can't think.
No one's ever.
See, that's things I've done else than things I've done. There is a wonderful guy in Germany who brings me extraordinary things, posters and all sorts of things that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
And he asked me to sign those things, and he comes over to the event that we do at the cinema, at the Genesis Cinema, in November, and I get to sign some of those things, but generally not. I haven't really done that many awful things to be signed, thank goodness.
Yeah, because a lot of horror people tell me they get asked to sign body parts and stuff like that.
Oh no, I wouldn't do that. I'm a lady.
Yeah.
I'm. You know what's often said about? I'm astonished. I have to say, I'm astonished to be in the situation of talking to you. But one of the things that's always said about me is that she is a classy actress.
Yeah.
That's my most favorite compliment, and I don't think they're going to ask me to do anything that I don't like.
Yeah.
Or I don't want. And I'm also terribly proud of everything that I've done, to be honest. I'm really proud that most of the stuff, an awful lot of my stuff, television as well, is still being talked about. It's amazing to be my age and all these years later, and the life that I've lived. And I went to South Africa for 20 years or something to live, and still people, lovely people like you.
Yes.
Talk to me.
Yes, absolutely. So to wrap this up, how's your health these days?
My health is really fine. It's really fine. I had a little bit of a sort of a slight heart blip 2 years ago or something. I had to do something to that, but it was not in a general anaesthetic. It didn't seem to be the hugest thing. I mean, when you it's funny you should ask that, and I could get really serious about this, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
But when you've gone through the life that I've gone through, we are losing friends,
Right.
Or our friends are getting very, very ill or sick and whatever. So this happens. It's quite difficult.
Yeah.
So Tom, can I'm frank? I'm really frank with you now.
Go ahead.
Are you listening?
I'm listening.
Go ahead. You can cut it. Recently, August, I hit 80. And now I've been fine with my age. I've been fine. I didn't care. 70 sounds glamorous to me. When I hit 80, I have been really brought down by it. I thought, first of all, it doesn't suit me. 80 doesn't suit me. I want to be 80. And I have lost that tremendous sort of optimism that I always had about, aren't we lucky? We lost so many. In our profession, we lost so many. I mentioned earlier, Pippa Steele, for instance, lots of Luann, my great friend Luann Peters. We lost them all. And I've always said how lucky one is to be here, but I'm really I don't know if you could say this, but I'm really pissed off about being 80. You don't mind my saying that.
Oh, no, not at all. You can swear all you want.
Good.
Judy, you don't look 80. You are still gorgeous, and you are still just a wonderful, wonderful lady. I thank you so much for coming on today, and I hope you have a happy Valentine's Day tomorrow.
Oh, yes, Valentine's Day. And same to you, Tommy. And it's always fun to talk to you. Are you still radical?
I am always radical. Always. You have yourself a great night over there, and be safe.
You too. You too.
Mwah.
Lots of love. Bye.
Lots of love. Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Judy Matheson, ain't she a sweetheart? Oh my God, I love her. What a character, huh? Oh my God, what a force of nature. I just loved catching up with her again, and that was so friggin' hilarious when she said, I hope I'm not causing an uproar here, but I'm pissed off about being 80." That was great. I wish we had more time to elaborate on that, but it's only a 40-minute Zoom. But I enjoyed catching up with her again. And if you haven't seen Lust for a Vampire, go check it out. She is so elegantly beautiful, just laying there with the holes in her neck. She is just beautiful and so wonderful. And I'm so glad that she's got other movies coming out. I'm glad that she has worked, since the pandemic, and even though she doesn't want to do it anymore and stuff, I think she can be lured back in because she's wonderful. I mean, she's just fantastic. Well, until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, "There's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks." Later, dudes.